Hey guys, it's Skillzerk. Today I'm playing Metalgear Solid Survive. The full game released at 8 p.m. yesterday, February 19. So to start off, the game is online only, constantly online. I don't see the point since there's no PvP, but there is good news about the online only part, though. So from this point on, expect minor spoilers after the load screen. So just for anybody who doesn't want spoilers in their game, I guess you would have to stop the video here. Otherwise, once the load screen's over, it's all free game from there. So, anyway, there's a lot of people that are against Metal Gear Solid Survive, and I get why. I mean, they took a game produced and directed by Hideo Kojima and basically copied it and made it into a worse game. They turned it into a zombie game instead of having what the general Metal Gear franchise is about. So, having finally played it for a few hours, it's not all that bad though. The story is rubbish, like, there's not really a good story to it. It seems like Blackmore from The Suffering is basically the starting, I think it's the bad guy. I don't know if that's called the protagonist. But basically, the gameplay is decent, the story is bad. You run around collecting resources, designing your entire base, item station placement, and all that. Then the game further emphasizes Metal Gear Solid 3's system, where you hunt and kill wildlife or harvest plants to eat and gather water from lakes to boil to purify camp stations for hydration. And then, of course, you have to make medical supplies and so forth. So, it's like Metal Gear Solid 3 meets Fallout 4, if you can imagine that. So, I thought hard on how to make a gameplay video of gathering resources, entertaining, well, to make a resource gathering video entertaining, and personally it wouldn't be that entertaining. So I decided to go over the basic menus and kind of spoil pre-game players, just so you get an idea of what you get for your buck. I mean, you don't want to play a game that's rubbish all the way, right? And personally, I think the game's actually pretty good. So for now, you can see I'm harvesting sheep right now for food, grabbing leather and other things for armor. And then, of course, the water sources are like this lake here, where I can grab water with, you need a bottle for the water, so it's kind of like Fallout in that case, where you have to use a bottle to collect the water, but then you have to go to a campfire station with a pot, and then you have to boil the water, of course, to purify it, burn out all the germs and so forth. Um, and in a second, we'll go over the base building. Right now, I figure I'll just go slow so people can see what's going on in the game, how I'm getting clean water, and what you do with the food so you don't get food poisoning. And mind you, you don't want to get food poisoning. It is absolutely atrocious in this game. You get food poisoning and it will last you through death, so you'll die and come back and still have food poisoning several times over. It's ridiculous. Let's go over base building. So, I'm going to go slowly just over the different panels to give an idea what you can do. The workstations and workbenches are where you craft items such as medical supplies, weapons, armor, so on, and so forth. The reservoir tanks, such as the rainwater tank and the vegetable potato things, there are farms for food and water. I haven't yet figured out what you need the food and water, the gauges for, more or less the number that it shows. But of course, you get a physical item as well. So you can use it for yourself, and I imagine later you use the resources for something different, which I haven't unlocked yet to figure out what it is. As you'd see on like the water reservoir tank, it says 150 per hour. Well, you actually get one water, but the 150 is a static number that keeps going up for some reason. Alright, let's go over crafting. So basically you have a station for everything. You have your medical station, where you craft medical supplies, your weapon station, where you can craft either melee weapons, or there's guns, there's bows, there's ammo, so forth. You can craft armor, of course, on the gear station, so that's pretty self-explanatory. And then of course you have gadgets like flashlights, binoculars. That's also where you craft like fences and different building pieces that you can use out in the world. So you don't only use building pieces for building your base, but you can also build anywhere in the world. But if you build somewhere else in the world, it will disappear when you walk away from it. It's more or less just for combat. There's the transporter here, our teleporter machine. Basically, you unlock wormholes later, and you go to defend a wormhole, and then you can teleport to those wormhole locations later. Let's go over classes for a minute. So there's only one class, it's Survivor, go figure, like the beta. I'm guessing there'll be more classes later, but not yet. And of course you can see you use Cuban Energy to improve your class. One last thing I wanted to mention, you can actually change how your avatar looks at any time. Now, I didn't cut out the loading screens here. They're about 30 seconds long, and I'll put the timing in the description so you can skip them. But I kept them there just so people could see how long the loading screens are. It's about a full minute, and actually it's almost exactly 60 seconds, and you load into the game, and then the loading screens are 30 seconds. I have no idea what to talk about during this loading screen now. 30 seconds of nothing is just where my brain kind of parts. Reminds me of, actually reminds me of a lot of Rick from Rick and Morty. As I might have screwed myself here. I think that's episode 3. So we have, you have brows, you can change your hair, eyes, nose, cheeks, mouth, jawline, and your skin color, of course, and then features are like piercings and tattoos, but there's no piercings for some reason right now, and of course voice pitch. Let's get out of that. Back to the ever-so-loving loading screen. But if you see up in the right-hand corner wherever the loading screen starts, it does save your game when you go into, if you need to save your game out of nowhere. As far as I know, there's no way to just save it since the game is online only. So it's online all the time, constantly. So you save your game just by, or at least I save it by going to change avatar and then going out of it. It takes a minute of loading between the two load screens, 30 seconds each. But, I mean, it saves your game, and that's how you know that your game's saved if you need it to be saved. And it also saves every time you go back to base camp. Alright, let's check one last detail. Over at the machine in the center, there's, here's your crew management. Right now I've only got base development. But as you can see, it's kind of like Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, where you have different development stations depending on how many people you have, and you rescue those people yourself, which is kind of difficult. You know, you have daily quests and weekly quests. They're really no different except for timing. You have boxes that you get from questing and so forth that you open. You don't buy them with real money. That's about it. And remember, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. If you dislike this video, please dislike and subscribe. Peace out, guys.